Welcome students to the revision session of chapter number 4, that is motion in plane. Today we are going to discuss few important numericals from the textual exercise as well as illustrations. Fine. So I will start with the basic textual exercise questions. The very first question we do have in exercise, that is 4.1, that is asking us to state for each of the following physical quantities which is scalar and which is vector. Now to start chapter with, I have given you the concept of scalar and vector quantities. Scalar quantities are those quantities which have only magnitude but no specific direction. Clear? And vector quantities are those quantities which do have magnitude as well as specific direction, are known as what? Vectors. So scalars have only magnitude, no specific direction, whereas vectors have magnitude as well as specific direction. Let's see the first numerical given in the textual exercise. State for each of the following physical quantities. If it is a scalar or vector quantity, we need to determine. First, volume. First they have given, that is volume. What about volume? Volume is scalar or vector? Scalar. Very good. Volume is scalar, which has only magnitude, no direction. I can write scalar has magnitude and no specific direction. No specific direction. Clear? And vector, we do have, that is magnitude as well as direction. In vector quantity, remember one thing, you do have magnitude and specific direction. Till this clear? Okay. So volume, that is scalar, which has only magnitude, no specific direction. Mass, scalar, everybody knows. Only magnitude to direction. Speed, again scalar, because speed is what? Distance upon time. Distance scalar, time scalar, then speed is going to be scalar. Acceleration, vector, sir, which has magnitude also, direction also, because the acceleration is nothing but what? Rate of change of velocity. As velocity is what? Vector. Acceleration is vector. So here you can say that this is vector quantity, sir. Density. Density is mass upon volume. Mass scalar, volume scalar. So it's nothing but what? Scalar. So density is scalar. Clear? Number of moles is just a constant value which has only magnitude, no direction. So here you can say it is scalar. What is velocity? Vector, because it is nothing but displacement upon time. What is displacement? The change in position of an object in a specific direction. Yes or no? That is nothing but what? Vector. And angular velocity, again, if you take an angular motion, the velocity is nothing but what? Have a specific direction, and that is nothing but what? Vector. Clear? So out of the following quantities, I can depict only 4 quantities to be vector, and rest to be scalar. Which 4 quantities were vector? The first was acceleration, second was velocity, displacement, angular velocity. These 4 are vector, the rest all are scalar. Till this clear? Okay. Now, to moving to the second question of the exercise, they say that pick out the scalar quantities from the following physical quantities. They have given a set of quantities in which, out of which we have to determine which of the following are scalar, and vector we don't have to determine, but I will do specify both scalar as well as vector. But they have asked only to depict, only to pick out scalar quantities. Clear? Let's start. The first quantity is against force. Force has magnitude, specific direction, so it is vector. So it is vector, we can say. Angular momentum. We know the formula L, that is equal to what? R cross P. L is equal to R cross P. Again it is vector quantity. Clear? What is work? Work is nothing but what? Force into displacement. Yes. But you remember that work is nothing but what? Scalar quantity. Very good. Work is scalar. Current. Work is scalar or vector? Work is scalar. Electric current, scalar. Linear momentum, vector. Vector, sir. P is equal to mv, product of mass and velocity. Here, electric field. Yes, it has a vicinity specific direction. Vector. Average velocity, again vector. Magnetic moment, again vector. Reaction as per Newton's third law. Reaction is nothing but force. Action and reaction are nothing but force. So reaction is one type of force. So again it is vector. We do have that is relative velocity. Again velocity with respect to some another object. Velocity of an object with respect to some another object is nothing but relative velocity. Velocity of an object with respect to another object, that is nothing but what? Relative velocity is again vector. But in the question they have told to depict only scalar quantities out of the following list. So I have only two quantities. So my answer is, first is work and you can say current, electric current. These are the two quantities which are scalar. Till this clear? Okay. Now moving to the third example, in which they are asking to depict the vector quantities from the following list. Okay, let's see. Now moving to example 4.3 of the exercise, they have asked to pick out vector quantities from the following list. Now the first quantity they have given temperature. We know the temperature is scalar, so this is nothing but scalar. Let me change the color of the pen. Pressure, scalar. Impulse we do have, that is vector. Time, everybody knows scalar. Hour, scalar. Total path length, scalar. Energy, scalar. Gravitational potential, scalar. Coefficient of friction we have already studied in chapter 5, that is what? Mu s mu k. Static friction and kinetic friction both are constants. So again scalar. Charge, scalar. So if somebody asks you to pick out the vector quantity from the following list, we do have only one vector quantity and your answer is impulse. Answer we do have, that is impulse. Clear? Is the vector quantity from the following list. Clear? Okay. Impulse is nothing but what? Force for a very short period of time. And force is nothing but what? A vector quantity. So impulse is vector quantity. Till this clear? Okay. Now moving to the next example, we do have, that is exercise 4.8, in which they have stated that three girls are doing skating on an ice ground. Three girls are performing skating, which starts their journey from point P and move to the diametrically opposite point Q through three different paths. I'll tell you. The girl A moves like this. The girl B moves like this, straight path of the girl B, and girl C moves like this. There are the three paths given to you. The three girls are doing ice skating and they have the paths A, B and C, which moves from P, that is on the edge of a circular track, to the diametrically opposite point, that is Q. They are asking in this question to us, number 1. That is magnitude of displacement for each girl. Magnitude of displacement for each girl they are asking. And the second question they are asking, the second question they have asked us, that is determine for which girl the magnitude of displacement is equal to total path length. So they are asking for which girl magnitude of displacement that is equal to total path length. These are the two questions they have asked in the question. Now very first step, we know that displacement is nothing but what? The shortest distance between initial point and final point. Yes or no? The shortest distance between both initial and final points or the position of an object. I can say that P is my initial position. P is my initial position and Q is my final position. Yes. So I can conclude that the shortest distance out of these three is nothing but what? PQ. You can say that is a displacement that is performed by girl B. So I can write displacement for each girl. Displacement for each girl, that is equal to PQ, and it is a vector quantity. Clear? So PQ is the shortest one. Okay. And if I want to calculate magnitude of displacement, so I can calculate magnitude of displacement that is nothing but 2r. The reason behind that is PQ is nothing but what, 2r. And also they have given to us that is the radius of this ice skating ground, that is 200 meters. That is 200 meters. Clear? They have given what us, that the radius of this ice skating ground is 200 meters. So they have given us that radius is 200 meters. So from here we can know that the magnitude of displacement is nothing but what, twice of radius. That is 2 into 200. My answer is 400 meters. Tell this clear? Now, here you can conclude that path length of B, path length of C, you can say, path length of C, path length comparison, C is greatest, A is greater and least is B. And also you'll be able to notice one thing over here, that is, you can see from here that the magnitude of displacement and total path length are same for goal B. Can you see? It's a straight line given. So here I can write magnitude of displacement and total path length are same for goal B. For goal B. This is your answer. Clear? Okay. Now moving to what? The next example, that is 4.9, in which again it is based on what? The concept of displacement, total path length, average velocity, average speed. Okay, let me clear the board please. Now an interesting question is given, that is 4.9, where they have stated that a cyclist starts from the center of a circular park O having radius 1 kilometer and reaches to point P. Clear? Now he travels 1/4 of the circle. 1/4 of the circle means this portion, and reaches at Q. Again he reaches to the center of the park. So he starts from O, moves to P, from P to Q, and then Q to back O. This is given to us. So I can write journey of cyclist. Journey of cyclist is provided to us, that is from P to O to P and P to Q. O to P, P to Q and Q to O back. They are asking to determine first magnitude of displacement, number 1. Second, they are asking average speed. And third, they are asking average velocity of the cyclist. Average velocity of the cyclist. These are the questions they have asked us. Okay, chalo. Let's start. The first thing, for the displacement. For the displacement, I know that here initial and final positions are same. So displacement is what? So displacement is 0. Clear? Because it starts from O and it ends its journey at O. Initial and final position are same, so displacement is 0. Second thing, if displacement is 0, then average velocity, that is nothing but total displacement upon total time taken. Now they have also given to us in this journey that entire time to complete this journey, time taken to complete this journey is 10 minutes. Time they have provided, that is 10 minutes. So in order to convert this 10 minutes into R, what I did, 10 by 60, so I am going to get my R, that is nothing but 1 by 6 R, simply. Clear? Here total displacement is 0 and time is 1 by 6, that is everybody knows answer is 0 kilometer per hour. Clear? So there will be no average velocity. Now for average speed, third we do have, that is average speed. and for average speed we do know that is nothing but total path length, total distance traversed divided by total time taken. Total time taken. We do have total time taken with us, yes or no? We do have total time taken with us. We need to calculate what total distance traversed. Now look at the figure. Total distance traversed is from O to P, that is 1 kilometer. P to Q, that is nothing but 1/4 of circumference, that is 2 pi r. I can say this is 1/4 part of what? Circumference. Instead I can say this is quadrant. Clear? This is quadrant, and this much portion you can see from here to here. This much portion is nothing but what? 1/4 part of the circumference, and circumference is 2 pi r. Clear? Also, this is again 1 kilometer because it is radius. It is radius, so again 1 kilometer. So if somebody asks me to determine what total distance traversed, total distance traversed, so what can I write? What can I write? First, that is equal OP plus PQ plus QO. Clear? OP is nothing but simply what we do have, that is 1. That is 1/4 of 2 pi r. 2 pi is 22/7, and radius is what? 1. And last we do have 1 again with us. So this is 2 2s are. Yes or no? This is 11s are. So my answer is 1 plus 11/7 plus 1. So my answer is 7 7 plus 14 plus 11 is 25/7. Unit will be kilometers. Very good. Now you can put here that is 25/7 kilometers, and time is 1/6 hours. 25/7 kilometers, that is the total distance traversed, and time we have already with us, that is 1.1/6 hours. So if we calculate this, you are going to get your answer 21.43 kilometer per hour. If we calculate this, you are going to get your answer as what? 21.43 kilometer per hour. That is your nothing but your average speed. Clear? Okay. Moving to the next example. Now moving to the next example, that is 4.11. Very interesting example. In 4.11 they have mentioned that, what they have mentioned, that a person arrives a new town and wishes to go from station to a hotel which is situated at a distance of 10 kilometer, with a distance of 10 kilometer from in a straight way. Clear? On a straight road. He wishes to go from station to hotel which is situated on a straight road 10 kilometer away from station, but a dishonest cab driver takes us from station to hotel via circuitous path. Circuitous path means taking more long route, and covered the distance 23 kilometers in time 28 minutes. This was dishonest person. You can say dishonest cab driver did this with the new arrived guest. Clear? He was wishing to move from station to hotel which was straight away situated 10 kilometers on the straight road from the station, but a cab driver, dishonest cab driver, moves through a circuitous path and which is 23 kilometers long in order to reach that hotel from station, and time taken by him was 28 minutes. They are asking to find out first average speed of the journey and also calculate average velocity of the journey and still they are asking compare it. They are asking compare it. When will average speed be equal to average velocity? When will be average speed will be equal to average velocity? They are asking. The first thing I can get over here is, First, what I'll calculate this time, that convert into what, and I do have already time with me, but I will convert it into hours. That is 28 by 60 hours. Clear? 28 by 60. I can get 7 fours are 28 and 15 fours are 60. Clear? So what I'm going to get, that is 7 by 15 hours. Till this clear? Okay. I do have distance covered, distance traversed, or you can say total path length, that is 23 kilometers. Till this clear? That is that the dishonest cab driver took. Now moving ahead, displacement is nothing but what? Shortest distance between initial and final position, that we know that it is 10 kilometer. So displacement I do have, that is 10 kilometer with me. Now how I'll calculate first average speed. Average speed, that is equal to total distance traversed divided by total time taken. Now total distance traversed over here is how much? 23 kilometers. Total time taken over here is 7 by 15 hours. So if you solve this, you are going to get your answer 49.3 kilometer per hour. Clear? This is my first answer. Okay. They have also told us to determine average velocity. So let's calculate average velocity. For the case of average velocity, I do have total displacement upon total time taken. Yes or no? Fine. So for the total displacement, I do have, that is 10 kilometers, and for total time I do have 7 by 15 hours. If I am going to solve it, I am going to get answer 21.43 kilometer per hour. This is my second answer. Here you will be able to notice one thing, that is average speed and average velocity are not same. But obviously it is not going to be same, because path length is more as compared to displacement. So here you will be able to notice that average speed is going to be more as compared to average velocity. Here you can see speed is 49.3 and it is 21.43. Here 49.3 is more than 21.43. But to make same, that is for average velocity equal to average speed, then your path need to be a straight path. Yes or no? Your path need to be straight path. Then only your magnitude of average velocity is going to be equal to what? Average speed. So I can conclude over here. What I can conclude, for average speed to be equal to average velocity, path need to be a straight line. Path need to be a straight line. Hope it is clear perfectly. Very well. Moving to the next example of the exercise. Let me clear the board, please. Moving to the next example, that is 4.11, that we have solved right now, and wishes to move to the question next, that is 4.25, in which they have given that an aircraft they have mentioned, that is moving at a height of 3400 from the ground. So we can consider this to be ground and aircraft is here. This is your aircraft which is at a height of 3400 from the ground. Now what they have mentioned in this question, very interesting, they have mentioned that the two positions of the aircraft, which are designated as A and B, 10 seconds apart. They are 10 seconds apart and subtends an angle at the ground. Subtends an angle at the ground, that is total 30 degree. Clear? Now what I did, I can understand that this must be 5 seconds and this is 5 seconds. So this angle individual will be 15 degree, 15 degree. It's to 30 degree. Clear? 10 seconds apart. Height 3400 meters. I can get it. This is 90. Oh yes sir, this is 90. They are asking to determine the average speed of the aircraft. The average speed of the aircraft. Clear? Now how to do, sir? how to get the solution for this. That's very simple. I am naming the point. This is as P on the ground, and this has to be O, center position. So in right triangle POB, I can say 10-15 degree. 10-15 degree I am taking. That is opposite side is OB, and adjacent side, that is OP. I don't know this much distance, so I am taking it as X. X divided by OP is 3400. So I am going to get is 10-15, that is equal to X divided by 3400. This is what I am getting. Clear? I am interested to determine X. So X is equal to 10-15 degree into 3400. For 10-15 degree, you have to refer to logarithmic table of Navneet, and in that you have to go to natural tangents and 15 degree. You are going to get your answer as 0.2679. 0.2679 into 3400. Clear? So for in 2679, you are going to get your answer to be here. Multiply this 0.2679 into 3400. That is, your answer is 910.86 meters. 910.86 meters. And this is the distance. But they are asking average speed. They are asking average speed. So if they are asking average speed, what I will do? Average speed. See, if I will talk about total distance, and it is x plus x, 2x, and total time is 10 seconds. I can calculate likewise also. If I am reducing the distance to half, that is x, then I have to take time also for that x only. So for 10 seconds, I'll divide it into 5. So my answer is, that is x by 5 seconds. So x is nothing but 910.86 divided by 5. This is meter and this is second. My answer is 182.2 meter per second. So remember, I got my answer, that is average speed of the aircraft. Average speed of aircraft. And that is nothing but what? 182.2 unit meter per second. Hope it is clear perfectly. Very good. Moving to the last question of this session. In this question they have given, that is 4.20, the position of the particle that is represented by R, which is in the equation, 3ti minus 2t square j and 4k. Clear? Where I, j, k represents for unit vector for x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. Also it is a function of time, we can see over here. Position is function of time, and t they have mentioned that it is in seconds. And the coefficients are taken in such a way that they have the proper unit of R to be meters. R to be meters. Clear? Now we are asking to find B and A. We need to find out the equation for velocity, acceleration. One more thing, they have asked in the question to find out magnitude and direction of velocity at 2 seconds. Now first thing we'll discuss about V. V is nothing but what? Rate of change of position with respect to time. That is d by dt of RT. That is d by dt of differentiation of R, that is 3t I cap minus 2t square j cap plus 4k cap. Is this clear? First term, I'll separate it, d by dt of 3ti, then minus d by dt of 2t square j, and last is d by dt of 4k cap. Is this clear? Now 3 is constant, that is t also. So 3 will be out. So dt by 3i will be out. 3i is constant, so out. dt by dt. 2 j cap is out. Then dt by t square is remaining. And this is constant. 4 constant, c constant. So my differentiation is 0. So I can put over here 3i. dt is going to be 1. 2j. And d by, we do have formula, d by dx of x raised to n, that is nx raised to n minus 1. So first I'll copy power 2 t n minus 1. So my answer is 3i minus 2j, and this is 2t, right? So my answer is 3i minus 4jt. So more precisely I can write 4tj. 2 to the 4tj. j. Till this clear? This is my equation for what? Velocity meter per second. Clear? Now they are asking what? Acceleration. For acceleration, I do know that a is equal to dv by dt, rate of change of velocity with respect to time. So d by dt of v is nothing but 3I minus 4tj. Yes or no? So first separate, that is d by dt of 3I minus d by dt of 4tj. This 3I is constant, so differentiation is 0. 4 is constant, so out. Dt by d4j is out. So dt by dt and dt by dt is 1. So answer is minus 4j. Unit is meter per second square. This is my A. Clear? I got V. I got A. So my first question that is being asked by them is being solved. Clear? Now moving to next, that is magnitude and direction of velocity at 2 seconds. Magnitude and direction of velocity at 2 seconds. So what I'll simply do, I'll tell you. What I'll simply do, I will just put here t 2 seconds in order to get velocity at 2 seconds. So if I want to determine velocity at 2 seconds, so I'll simply put 3I minus 4 into 2j. So my answer is 3I minus 8j meter per seconds. Remember, this is vector. They have told magnitude of vector, and magnitude of vector I have already discussed. X component square, that is t square. Y component square, that is minus 8 square. 3 square is 9. 8 square is 64. Clear? 64 plus 9. 64 plus 9 is 73. Check 64 plus 6, 70, and plus 3, that is 73. Under root 73 meter per second. Can you tell me what is the value for V? Under root 73, that you are going to get is 8.54 meter per second. 8.54 meter per second. This is your clear? Now I have to calculate only direction of velocity at 2 seconds. Clear? So moving for direction, I will tell you, in the case of direction, you need to remember one thing, that for any vector, suppose I'll plot a vector over here. Suppose this is your V vector, then its projection on x-axis is going to give you x component, and this on projection of y-axis, this is going to be your y component. This is your 90 and this is your theta. If I ask you to find out this direction for velocity vector v, then tan theta, that is equal to opposite side, this vy, adjacent side, that is vx. In short, y component by x component. Y component by x component of that particular quantity given, a vector. Clear? Whose direction is to be determined. So I am going to get my answer tan theta, that is equal to Vy, that is y component of velocity is minus 8 and x component is 3. So here I can get theta is equal to tan inverse of minus 8 by 3. I can write that is tan inverse of minus 2.6667. 8 by 3 is 2.6667. And if you will find out again in natural tangents, theta, that is tan inverse of minus 2.6667, you are going to get this answer to be 70 degree approx with x-axis. Our answer is 70 degree to x-axis. Clear? 100%? Okay. Hope you are clear with this sum. We'll see more sum into the next revision session. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.